After Mockery at a tech summit, Black CEO's incredible strength revealed, 7.8B merger cancelled. Noah Carter sat at the edge of the stage, heart racing and palms sweating, as the harsh lights of the Silicon Valley Tech Summit beamed down on him. A week ago, optimism coursed through his veins as he stood on the brink of a $7.8 billion merger that could change everything. But today was a massacre. The laughter echoed in his ears, biting deep and raw, as influential leaders clad in tailored suits belittled his humble beginnings, labeling his ambitious dreams as naive fantasies. "You think you can change this industry?" One scoffed, sending a ripple of laughter through the crowd while Noah's chest tightened in disbelief. With each dismissive sneer, a part of him crumbled. Who did they think they were, standing there? They didn't just mock his ideas, they mocked every late night his mother spent teaching him lessons on resilience, every sacrifice his father made as a proud Vietnam veteran. He could see his parents' faces in his mind. They had taught him integrity over wealth, to be relentless yet rooted. But now, a rift began to form. Ambition and duty must coexist, his father's soft voice echoed in his head, a warning held in each word. Noah's very soul felt like it was being squeezed as he recognized the escalating tension brewing between his relentless pursuit of success and the values that shaped him. Back home, the weight of expectation felt suffocating. His mother's encouraging words to fight back against the scorn echoed. Meanwhile, his father's gentle caution about the dangers of isolation lingered. Tensions hung thick and heavy in the air, and for the first time in his life, he felt like a tether unraveling a bridge between two worlds. Silicon Valley pulsed around him, a buzzing pit filled with aspiration and prejudice. Strangers glanced sideways at him, whispers swirling like shadows of doubt and ridicule. Could the ground he stood on ever truly nurture his ambitious dreams? That night, confusion and anger collided within him, echoing ceaselessly in the silence. He felt a pull toward home, to his roots and the community that nurtured him, far away from the extravagant dinners and hollow praises of the summit. He needed to reconnect, he needed to belong again. Lonely coffee shops became his refuge as he dove deep into conversations with local entrepreneurs who, like him, faced the same challenges, voices tinged with ambition yet silenced by the stigma of their circumstances. They set him on fire again, a reminder that the crux of success lay not just in profit margins but in collaboration, in lifting each other up. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. One sleepless night, amidst scattered coffee cups and scribbled sketches, an idea began to take root within him. What if success measured the lives he could uplift? That night, clarity washed over him in waves. No more would he cower beneath the judgment of the powerful. He planned, plotted, and envisioned a route that tied together dreams of innovation and community. The merger could still happen, but this time, it would be his community's dream woven into the fabric of it. But as the final negotiations loomed, uncertainty bubbled inside him. Could he balance ambition with his family's values? Could he reshape the tech landscape and still honor his roots? The sun set on his aspirations, and as he prepared for one final pitch, he wondered, would he rise to the occasion, or would the weight of the world crush him? The answer danced just out of reach, waiting for him to grab. Hold. Noah stood before the towering glass building of his potential partner, his heart pounding as if it were trying to break free from his chest. The sleek facade glistened like a predator ready to consume him whole. But today he was more than just that kid who once dreamed behind the faint glow of a computer screen. Today, he was a force of change, standing on the edge of a new dawn. He took a deep breath, the cool morning air filling his lungs as he surveyed the crowd of executives already gathered inside. They exchanged pleasantries, laughter echoing down the marble halls, but Noah felt utterly alone amidst it all. Would they recognize his worth? Would they see beyond the color of his skin and his less-than-glamorous beginnings? This was the question that gnawed at him as he entered the building, each step fueled by resolve. As he approached the conference room, he spotted several familiar faces, the same ones who had mockingly dismissed him a week ago. Their supercilious smiles seemed rehearsed, like actors playing a part. But today, he wasn't their punchline. The room was filled with an air of expectation. He gripped his notes so tightly his knuckles turned white. If this is going to happen, I have to own every part of it, he murmured under his breath as he recalled the late-night conversations with other entrepreneurs. Their dreams intertwined with his now, binding him to a community that had inspired him to rise above the scorn. "Mr. Carter, the floor is yours," said a balding man with slicked-back hair. Noah flashed a forced smile, taking a moment to gather his thoughts. The presentation slides were lined up, colorful and full of potential. But more than numbers and data, this was about heart, about the lives he envisioned transforming. He took a deep breath, recalling the support of family, friends, and mentors who always believed in him. He began, voice steady, "I want to introduce not just a remarkable merger but a revolution, an ecosystem where innovation meets inclusivity." He could see the interest flickering in their eyes. "What if we create a tech hub that reflects the diversity of our society? A space where every talent, no matter their background, can thrive." Progressively, as Noah spoke, he broke the barriers he felt were stiffening around him. He used examples of local entrepreneurs leading the charge, sharing statistics that highlighted how investment in diversity generated exponential growth. He could hear gasps and murmurs in the audience. Maybe he was breaking through, but as he neared the end of his pitch, a familiar voice interrupted. "You truly think you can change the landscape? This isn't a fairy tale, it's business." The man's words hung like a fog of doubt in the air. Noah paused, and his heart drummed harder. "An isn't business about more than just profits? Isn't it about legacy? Impact? Look around, our world needs leaders willing to rise above fear and embrace change." He pointed toward the window, overlooking the vibrant streets below. "We have an opportunity to be that light." Silence filled the room. Would they accept this new vision, or would they reject him again? Then came the unexpected. A round of applause erupted, and it felt like a warm embrace, wrapping around him and suffusing him with hope. The executives exchanged glances, nodding appreciatively. Their voices whispered about potential and partnerships, but just as quickly, a new problem surfaced. A rival company was ready to step in. They too had a vision, they too wanted a piece. And as Noah felt the floor shift beneath him, he realized this merger might not just be a challenge against prejudice, it would be a fierce battle against competitors willing to undermine what he was building. He hadn't just put his dreams on the line. He had put his community's faith in him at stake. Would they rally around him, or would he stand alone? The clock ticked down to a decision, and in that pulse of time, he knew everything was about to change in ways he could never have anticipated. What would he do now, as he faced the fight of his life? Would he find the strength to forge ahead, or would he crumble under the pressure? As the applause faded, Noah felt an electric charge course through the air. The executives leaned forward, some jotting notes, others sharing sidelong glances. Yet, lurking in the shadowy corners of the conference room was an undercurrent of tension. He could sense it was palpable, thickening like fog around him. And in an instant, that oppressive weight coalesced into a powerful voice. "Let us not get ahead of ourselves." The man who had interrupted him earlier, Greg Harper, stood again. His tone dripped with skepticism. "A tech hub? That's ambitious, but we have to consider the risks involved. Are you prepared for the backlash if things don't go as planned?" Noah clenched his fists. It was as if Greg was not just downplaying his vision but challenging the very essence of his purpose. "What does failure look like in this conversation, Greg?" Noah shot back, surprising even himself with the conviction in his voice. "If we don't take risks for the sake of progress, then we are stagnating. I refuse to let fear dictate our future." The murmurs intensified, a blend of support and skepticism swirling around the room. He could almost hear the gears turning in their heads, weighing the potential of his words against the backdrop of corporate caution. Can you promise results? Another unfamiliar executive, a woman with glasses perched on her nose, asked. Noah paused. The question hung heavily in the air. He knew that results often took time, blood, sweat, and tears, all things he was willing to offer. But to promise? Results come with dedication and collaboration, he said. If we can create a culture, a community, where every voice matters, then I'm confident that success will follow. This isn't about my vision, this is about our vision and the impact we can have together. To his surprise, the room fell silent again. He could see a few heads nodding. It was as if some invisible line had been crossed, pulling their hesitant hearts closer to his cause. But then, just as the tide seemed to shift, Greg was back at it. You do realize, if you were to go ahead with this merger, competitors won't stand still. They'll be watching your every move. They'll try to sabotage you. It was like ice water down his back. Noah remembered the rival company he had learned about only moments earlier, highly funded and unforgiving. They had swagger, and they had their sights set on his dream. But so did he. I don't care what they throw at us, Noah stated firmly, his voice gaining strength. We're going to rise above. And if they want to play dirty, we'll outsmart them. I won't shy away from a fight, especially for the future I believe in. The executives exchanged glances filled with caution and curiosity. A hesitant seed of confidence seemed to sprout in Noah's chest. He believed in his vision so deeply that the idea of backing down felt sacrilegious, but seconds turned into minutes, the clock relentlessly ticking, and doubt began to resurface, a familiar companion whispering doubts into his ear. Could he really fight this battle? Just when Noah thought the moment would dissolve into mere conversation, a woman near the back stood. You've given us something to think about, Noah, she said, her voice soft but firm. But will you still be fighting this battle even if it means losing everything? The question sliced through him, the weight of it, the profundity of it. He hesitated, processing the enormity of his answer. Would he? As the room watched, Noah's heart raced, and a definitive thought solidified in his mind. Everything worth having comes at a price. And I'm willing to pay it, he declared, resolve resonating through every word. The moment stretched, hanging suspended in air, heavy with anticipation. The executives' expressions were a mix of surprise, respect, and a hint of something more, a realization, but before he could bask in their reactions, his phone buzzed violently in his pocket. He pulled it out, heart racing at the unexpected interruption. The notification glared back at him, competitor launch press release, our game changer. Suddenly, Noah's pulse spiked. What lay ahead was murkier than he had predicted. The stakes had just been raised, and he had to decide his next move quickly. Would he counter this strike, or wait for further details? In that moment, as tension mounted, Noah realized that the fight was just beginning. Would he stand strong against the tide, or get swept away in uncertainty? He knew one thing: the next steps he took would define everything he had fought for. As he met the gazes of the executives, a fiery determination kindled within him. He was ready for whatever came next, but deep down, he understood this would take every ounce of courage he possessed. Would he be able to turn the tide, or would darkness loom closer than he ever imagined? Noah's heart raced, his fingers trembling slightly as he stared at the phone screen. Our game changer. The words echoed in his mind like a taunt. Was this the blow that would crush his momentum before it even started? Catching his breath, he glanced up at the executives. The silence in the room was now heavy with uncertainty. Their faces displayed a mix of concern, curiosity, and perhaps a glimmer of hope. Their collective gaze felt like a spotlight, one he couldn't ignore, even if he wanted to. What's happening? Greg's voice broke through the tension with a sharp edge. He leaned forward, genuinely intrigued. Noah took a moment, allowing the panic to settle deep in his gut. My competitor just announced their new product. It sounds like they are pulling out all the stops. The cold reality settled in, but he wasn't about to show them fear. Not now. What are you thinking? Another executive asked, her voice softer now, stripped of the earlier skepticism. The room waited on his response, the air thick with anticipation. I'm thinking that we need to do something and fast. We can turn this to our advantage, Noah said, his voice steadier than he felt inside. He had to believe it. Let us leverage their announcement, he continued, fueling his own fire. If they are making a big push, that means there's vulnerability. It's a chance to pivot the market's attention to us, our vision, our community. We need to highlight what we can do differently. A few heads nodded, igniting a spark of momentum. He could feel their energy shift from doubt to engagement. And somewhere in the back of his mind, he hoped this wasn't just wishful thinking. You acting quickly may present an opportunity, the woman with glasses said, her tone shifting into one of cautious optimism. But it also carries risks. We need a strong strategy if we're to make a statement. Then let us brainstorm now, Noah said, leaning on the edge of the conference table. He felt the weight of the moment, the responsibility bearing down, but he welcomed it. We need clear messaging, a way to differentiate ourselves from them, and we need to do it within the next few days. Can we do that? The executives exchanged glances. The tension had morphed, curiosity and motivation igniting their expressions. It's ambitious, Greg admitted, his tone surprisingly softer now, but I think we can make something happen. Let us dig deep. Noah reclaimed his confidence, invigorated by their sudden change in approach. Let us channel this fire they've ignited. Imagine our tech hub as a beacon of innovation, a place where everyone can thrive. Not just a product but a movement. And just like that, a newfound energy coursed through the room. Ideas started flying, strategies, collaborations, target audiences, and Noah felt his spirit soar. But in the back of his mind, the dark specter of doubt still lingered. Could they really pull this off against a competitor with far deeper pockets? And as he glanced subtly at Greg, he knew he had to turn that skepticism into collaboration. Let us consider tapping into grassroots participation, Noah suggested, shifting back to a strong strategic approach. If we engage our community, use social media to our advantage, we can create a groundswell. Excitement began to surface, despite the looming threat. But just as enthusiasm bubbled up, Greg cleared his throat, a hint of caution returning. We still have to think about their motives. They will not play fair. Noah's heart dropped. I know, but we can't let fear hold us back. We need to be brave and fight for what we believe in. As the discussion heated up, ideas flew like sparks in a fire, and Noah fought for every ounce of energy to match the escalating stakes. What would it take to disrupt their confidence? But just as it seemed hope was illuminating a path, another thought flickered at the edge of Noah's mind. If they did indeed pursue this, how much was he willing to risk, not just his dreams, but those of everyone who believed in this vision? Their faces were alive with passion now, yet he still felt that familiar twinge, the tightness of uncertainty. Noah looked around the table at his potential allies, feeling the weight of not just his own decisions, but the collective faith resting on his shoulders. As the discussion grew more intense, a single question echoed in his mind, leaving him unsettled. Was boldness enough? No matter what happens next, Noah vowed to himself, I will fight. I won't let anyone take this from us. But as his resolve burned fiercely, the distant sound of a clock ticking filled his ears, a reminder that time was not on their side. Would they not only push against the tide but emerge victorious? As he gripped the table, a sense of urgency swelled within him, swirling with the forthcoming challenges. What if, in the face of overwhelming odds, everything they thought they knew would unravel? Would he hold his ground when the current of doubt threatened to drown him? The fight was won in moments like this, and Noah was prepared to face the chaos ahead. With a deep breath, he steadied himself, ready for the battle that lay ahead. The stakes were high, and the clock was ticking. Would he navigate this storm, or would he find himself lost in the fray? Noah's mind raced as the discussions continued to unfold around him. The energy in the room, once charged with anxiety, had shifted into a palpable determination. There was an electricity almost crackling in the atmosphere. Greg, who had seemed like an anchor dragging him down, was now entirely on board, voicing ideas, and showing a cautious optimism. "What if we reach out to our early adopters?" he proposed. "They could become our vocal advocates. If they share their stories and experiences on social media, it could create a tidal wave." Noah snapped his fingers, invigorated by Greg's suggestion. "Yes. We can harness their enthusiasm and tap into their networks. The more authentic our messaging, the better. This isn't just about us anymore, it's about community. Let us position ourselves as the underdogs fighting against bigger and greedier corporations." The executives nodded, finding their momentum again. Lisa, the office's marketing guru, took out her notepad, jotting down ideas at a furious pace. Her pencil danced across the page like a propeller in a storm, capturing the vision of a campaign that could spark something more significant than just a product launch. "But we have to cover our bases," she cautioned, looking up to meet Noah's gaze. "What if they try to undermine us? You know how ruthless they can be." The weight of that statement settled heavily on Noah's chest. "We'll be ready for any negative pushback. We'll have a crisis management plan in place. Transparency is key. We can show the positives of our journey while addressing any challenges head-on." As they continued bouncing ideas back and forth, Noah felt like he was building something alive, something bigger than himself. For the first time in days, hope flickered brightly in his chest. It was a fragile thing, but it pushed away the shadows of doubt that had loomed so heavily only moments before, yet, amidst the newfound courage, a sharp sting of anxiety lingered. He couldn't shake the thought that this vibrant energy could crash just as quickly if they miscalculated their messaging or underestimated their opponent's move. The meeting stretched on, fueled by caffeine and urgency. They mapped out social media strategies, designed optimistic graphics, and scheduled live interaction sessions that would connect the company with its audience. Progress became their anthem, each idea layering upon another until the room pulsed with potential. But as Noah engaged in what felt like a symphony of voices and hopes, a gnawing thought kept nagging at him. What if their efforts still wouldn't be enough? Just when he thought he had a grip on the situation, a disquiet knotted in his stomach. The competition was relentless, and he had seen their marketing prowess before. Could they truly disrupt the tide with just sheer will? "Time's tight," Greg reminded them as the clock ticked ominously on the wall. "It's ticking like a heartbeat, relentless and unforgiving. We need to finalize our strategy by tonight. We can't delay. Every second counts." Noah felt the weight of that urgency. They had a mountain before them, and time was their greatest enemy. He took another deep breath, addressing the team. "We've come too far to back down. Let us be bold. Let us surprise them. We will show our community and the industry what we're capable of." Just as fire ignited in their eyes, a notification buzzed lightheartedly against Noah's phone, pulling his attention away from the room. As he glanced at the screen, his heart stopped. It was a news alert: competitor S product launch delayed, concerns over functionality. Noah stared, disbelief coursing through his veins. Was this the opening they needed? The question hung in the air like a lifeline. Did fortune finally shine upon them, or was it merely the calm before a greater storm? Noah felt his pulse quicken. There was no turning back now, they had to act, and fast. Were they really ready to seize this pivotal opportunity, or would they find themselves caught in a snarl of deception? Noah held his breath, the buzzing of the room fading into the background. The moment felt surreal, a crossroads that gripped the air. The news alert loomed over him like a dark cloud, heavy with uncertainty. Was this the twist of fate they had been waiting for, or just another false dawn? "Guys, listen," he said, his voice cutting through the chatter. The team turned, eyes wide with hope and caution. "Our biggest competitor just hit a snag. Their launch is delayed." Greg leaned closer, a spark igniting in his eyes. "What does that mean for us? This could be our moment." Noah nodded, urgency coursing through him. Exactly. We need to rethink our timeline. If we ramp up our marketing now, we can catch the wave of frustrated customers looking for alternatives. Lisa was already tapping furiously on her laptop. We can create a targeted campaign. Highlight our strengths, play up their weaknesses. She trailed off for a moment, considering the potential backlash. But we need to tread carefully. If we play it too aggressively, it could backfire. Right. They're not going to take this lying down, Noah warned, pacing back and forth, uncertainty still clinging. We need to stick to our authenticity. Showcase our community support. It's us against them, but we have to be the good guys. As the team began brainstorming new ideas, the atmosphere shifted again, gaining momentum as excitement surged through the group. Did they dare to think they could turn their fortunes around within a matter of days? Minutes ticked by rapidly as strategies morphed and expanded. Noah's mind raced with possibilities, success stories from their early users, engaging posts that humanized the brand, live QA sessions announcing the launch dates. Each idea felt like a piece of armor he was fastening on for battle. Let's create a countdown to our launch, Greg suggested. Keep the buzz building. If we tease the features they've been too scared to deliver, we could really reel people in. Lisa's eyes sparkled with enthusiasm. And we can invite testimonials from our advocates with personal stories about our product. That genuine connection will resonate. People follow real stories. Noah could feel hope clawing back, but the weight of their competition never fully left him. Every step they took into the light made shadows loom larger. He pressed his hands together, realizing how precarious the situation had become. Just remember, he said softly, this isn't just about us. It's about every person who believes in what we stand for, every dream we've built our company on. We need to make them feel like they belong in this fight. The room erupted in agreement, a chorus of supportive voices filling the air. As laughter shared the burden of stress, an undercurrent of determination surged behind every smile. There was something wonderfully infectious about this newfound energy. Yet as conspired plans solidified, doubt gnawed at Noah again. What if their move was anticipated? What if the competitor saw this as an opportunity to launch a counterattack, spinning their delays as just a clever ploy? In that uncertainty, he felt a chilling sensation wrap around his spine. The game was only just beginning. All right, team, he said finally, the words spilling out with both conviction and caution. Let's pull everything together. But keep your eyes open. We're in uncharted territory here. Just as finishing touches were placed on their plan, his phone buzzed again, this time, a text from an anonymous number that made his heart race. Thinking you can win this? Watch your back. The game is far from over. Noah's breath hitched in his throat. They were in for a fight, and it was clear this was only the beginning of something much more dangerous. Could they withstand the scrutiny, the backlash that surely loomed on the horizon? The thrill of battle beckoned, but with it came waves of uncertainty. Could they truly claim victory, or would this moment seal their fate? The team's enthusiasm began to flicker, like a candle fighting against a gust of wind. The message on Noah's phone hung in the air, palpable and chilling. He glanced around the room, noticing the slight furrows forming on his team's foreheads. Doubt was creeping in, as sudden as a storm cloud on a sunny day. Hey, don't let this panic us, Greg said, putting on a brave face. We've worked too hard to fall apart now. His voice wavered slightly, revealing the tremor of his own uncertainty. Yeah, Lisa added quickly, though her fingers hesitated on her keyboard. We've got a shot here. Let us focus on what we can control. Noah inhaled deeply. Right. Strategy first. We'll keep that message in mind, watch our backs, but let us not get distracted. He gestured for everyone to gather closer. What do we need to finalize right now? The team sprang to life again, murmurs of ideas filling the room once more. Lisa pitched in about social media graphics, while Greg began outlining potential partnership opportunities with influencers. Each voice rose, excitement building until Noah felt a sense of relief wash over him. But what about the threat? An anonymous message had felt like a palpable warning, and the darkness flickered at the edges of their optimism. Noah's instincts buzzed. It was wise to be cautious. After an hour of productive chaos, Noah's phone buzzed again, making his heart skip. Lisa caught his expression and leaned in closer. "What's next?" she asked, determination etched on her features. "It's the marketing team. They're ready to present their first drafts based on our ideas," Noah replied, fighting the surge of anxiety rising in his chest. The countdown to their launch loomed just days away, yet now their window of opportunity felt smaller than ever. The room quieted as Noah opened the door to the conference area where the marketing leads had gathered. Their faces were a mix of eagerness and confusion, and the energy felt different when they entered. They sensed the undercurrent in the air. The threat wasn't just on their minds. "All right, guys," Noah began, his voice steadying. "Let us see what you have." One by one, the marketing team rolled out their comprehensive plans. Promotional graphics lit up the screen, stories filled with emotion and purpose. But just as Noah began to feel renewed hope, his mind flickered back to the menacing text. The excitement around him felt tenuous, as if it were balancing on a tightrope. "There's potential here," he commented, noticing the group's reactions, especially when Greg suggested using a powerful slogan, "We're stronger than the storm." As the team finalized their strategy, a crackle of energy surged in the room, almost invigorating. Noah watched the way resilience began to shape them, each member grappling with their own fears but also embracing the fight. Just as they wrapped up, Lisa's phone buzzed. She glanced down, her brow furrowing. "Wait a minute, something's trending on social media about our biggest competitor." Noah felt a rush of adrenaline. "What's happening?" Lisa scrolled furiously. "It looks like the launch might not be delayed after all. A leak: someone from their team has said they are shifting strategy. They could be pivoting to counter the backlash just as we speak." A collective sigh emanated from the team, emotions colliding. This was their moment to strike, but it also meant the rivalry would intensify. Every breath felt like a gamble. "Looks like we've got our work cut out for us," Noah said, determination radiating from him. "Let us not just react, let us anticipate. This is ours to lose. They won't see us coming." As the weight of the coming battle settled over them, a sense of unity emerged, their resolve hardening. Maybe the tide was turning, but it wouldn't come easy. Then, another ping on Noah's phone, another message. He opened it, only to find a single word that made his blood run cold. "Soon." The tension in the room escalated as eyes darted back to Noah. What was soon? What were they really up against? The stakes had just skyrocketed, and Noah felt the pull of fear entwining with hope. Was this an opportunity or a deeper threat waiting to be unveiled? As he looked at his team, he realized they were sailing into treacherous waters, each of them choosing to trust each other while the shadows of doubt loomed. They had to brace themselves. Because whatever lay ahead, they were all in it together, and it was all or nothing. What was waiting in the depths of this competitive tide? Noah's phone vibrated again, the screen illuminating the quiet tension in the room. The single word, "soon," echoed in his mind, leaving him unsettled. What could that possibly mean? His heart raced at the thought. He took a deep breath, forcing himself to focus on his team. They needed him to steer them through this storm. "All right, everyone," he said, attempting to project confidence. "Let us channel this energy. We need to get ahead of the curve. We've got competitors trying to rip the ground out from under us, but we can't lose sight of what we came to do." Greg nodded, his fingers gripping the edge of the table tightly. "We have to ramp up our online presence, get our message out there, loud and clear. If they're pivoting, we need to do it better." Lisa jumped in. "We can create a campaign around our slogan. 'We're stronger than the storm' could resonate. We can turn their chaos into our advantage." Her voice was steady, Strong against the undercurrents of worry, Noah could see the fire reigniting in his team members. Hope started to pull the weight of doubt from the air like a rising tide, but in the back of his mind, fear lurked. Would they be able to outmaneuver their competitor? Let us break into teams, Noah declared. Greg, you'll handle communications. Lisa, work on the visuals. I'll take charge of outreach and partnerships. The goal is to position ourselves as the leaders in resiliency, especially with everything that's happening right now. As they divided up their tasks with renewed focus, Noah felt a surge of determination. They weren't just reacting to a competitor, they were choosing to define the conversation. The atmosphere shifted, the weight in the room lifting as they leaned into the challenge. Hours flew by as ideas flowed, discussions ignited, and the team moved with purpose. Laughter broke out as they brainstormed, reminders of the bond they shared underneath the looming pressure. But a lingering darkness still whispered at the edge of Noah's mind, reminding him of that ominous message. He half expected another ping on his phone, a new twist in their turbulent narrative. Suddenly, Lisa's voice cut through the chatter. Guys! Check this out. Everyone turned towards her as she pulled up a social media thread where users had begun discussing rumors of a scandal surrounding their competitor. The comments ranged from curiosity to outright disbelief, highlighting internal strife within the rival company. Is this real? Greg asked, peering over Lisa's shoulder. His voice was laced with a mix of hope and skepticism. I think it is, Lisa replied. If they're feeling the heat on this, it just creates a bigger opening for us. We could capitalize on this negative exposure. Noah felt his pulse quicken. This wasn't just a shift, it was an opportunity they could not afford to miss. We need to act now. If we can counter their narrative while they're weak, it could give us the edge we need, he urged. They quickly regrouped, tightening their strategies around the news. They leaned into the adversity of their competitor, highlighting their own values of strength, loyalty, and community in direct contrast. Noah felt the adrenaline coursing through him, driving him toward the first push of his vision coming to life amidst the chaos that he could almost hear the rhythm of possibility thumping like a heartbeat, echoing around the room as they pieced together their mission. But through the noise, the quiet dread of that single word lingered in his thoughts. Noah's phone buzzed one more time, another message from the same unknown number. He hesitated before looking, and the air in the room shifted, stilled like the moment before a storm. He read it slowly, a chill creeping up his spine. Everything is about to change. The words hit him like a freight train, charging with uncertainty and foreboding. What did that mean for them? Was the competition gearing up for a counterattack? Noah looked at his team, their unity forged in determination, yet shadowed by the unknown. As they readied themselves to embark on this crucial journey, he realized they were entering a labyrinth of challenges, every twist and turn hiding something unexpected. Would they navigate the storm, or would they find themselves lost? With resolve, Noah raised his eyes, ready to charge forward, but the question hung heavily in the air: were they truly prepared for whatever was coming? Noah's heart pounded against his chest as he looked at his team, their faces a mixture of determination and anxiety. He realized they were at a precipice, teetering between opportunity and disaster. The vibe had shifted, their confidence was palpable, but the weight of uncertainty pressed down like a thick fog. Okay, let us break this down, Noah said, trying to shake off the sensation that something big was on the brink. We know they're vulnerable. But that means we have to be flawless in our execution. Greg gestured toward the screen displaying their competitor's scandal. If we're going to capitalize on this, we need to dig deeper. What are the specifics of this internal strife? We need to craft our narrative carefully, no missteps. Lisa tapped away at her laptop, pulling up analytics and social media sentiment. People love a good underdog story. If we present ourselves as the dependable alternative, it could soften the blow from this drama. Noah nodded, feeling the shift in energy. The storm of their competitor's woes might just be the catalyst they needed to propel themselves forward. Let us schedule a live stream announcement. Highlight our commitment to transparency and community, present the facts but from our perspective. Just as they began outlining their launch, Noah's phone buzzed again. His stomach dropped. Glancing down at the screen, he saw another message from that same number. Time's running out. Hey, focus. Greg snapped, pulling Noah back into the moment. This is crucial. Noah shoved his phone into his pocket, his mind racing. Right. Let us keep our heads in the game. We need to saturate social media. Create engaging content that shows how we stand apart, even amid the chaos. As they worked, the air seemed to thrum with urgency and hope. They crafted graphics, wrote compelling posts, and plotted an outreach strategy that drew on their core values. The tension in the room gave way to spirited debate as they brainstormed catchphrases and hashtags that could amplify their voice. But internally, Noah struggled. That ominous unknown loomed large in the back of his mind. It felt like a constant whisper, taunting him with unanswered questions. What did this unknown person want? Were they truly a threat? Was there an ulterior motive behind those chilling messages? After hours of fevered creation, they finally had a proposal ready to present the next day. As the team started to wrap up, Lisa caught Noah's eye. You okay? You've been quiet. Noah smiled, though it didn't quite reach his eyes. Yeah. Just thinking. If this goes the way we hope, we could be in a completely different position. Just don't lose sight of the game. There's still a lot at stake. He could sense the doubt that flickered across Lisa's face. It mirrored the flutter of unease in his own chest. Do you really believe we can transform this storm into something good? Absolutely, Noah responded, more to reassure himself than her. But we need to be ready for the aftermath. We have to keep our guard up. With a collective sigh, they gathered their things and headed for the door, their minds shifting back to the company's potential bright future. Walking out into the hallway, Noah turned back for one last look at their workspace. It was buzzing with energy, the kind that promised transformation, but before they left, Noah's phone chimed again, yet another message. The tapping of keys seemed to echo in the stillness of the moment. He hesitated, then looked. The words on the screen drained the color from his face, "You're going to wish you were ready." Cold sweat clung to him, electrifying the air with alarm. His instincts flared. He was being watched. Fear coiled tightly around his heart. They were walking a tightrope, and one misstep could send them tumbling into darkness. Noah swallowed hard, forcing a confident smile as he faced his team. The real question echoed in his mind: what awaited them on the other side of this storm? He took a deep breath, waiting for the answer to reveal itself in the moments ahead. Noah stood at the precipice of the conference room, gathering the last shreds of his courage. The unknown lingered like a shadow, threatening to disrupt his every thought. Yet, beneath the weight of that mysterious pressure, he could also feel something awakening, an unyielding spirit fueled by purpose. Looking around the room at his team, he felt a warm surge of appreciation. They weren't just colleagues, they were allies standing strong against a tide of uncertainty. The authenticity of their shared journey had forged connections that could weather any storm. He wasn't alone. Tomorrow's announcement could be everything, he reminded everyone, grounding them once more. Let us position ourselves at the forefront, as a beacon amid their chaos. With determination etched in their expressions, the team nodded, enthusiasm blossoming once more. They rallied together to finalize their presentation. Missed deadlines or internal strife from competitors didn't concern Noah as much as the fear that had gripped him only moments before. They were now armed with resilience and intent. Minutes turned into hours filled with laughter, brainstorming, and the feverish excitement of possibility. Each creative idea built on the last, layering his vision into something that transcended business. It united hearts. He could see the essence of the community they would uplift shimmering before him. As they meticulously crafted their message, Greg's voice rang out over the chatter, "Let us rally around this phrase, stronger together. It embodies everything we're fighting for." Noah grinned, feeling the electric care coursing through them. All at once, there was a sense of lightness. With each moment of collaboration, hope swelled within him. This wasn't merely a pitch, it was a call to arms for everyone overlooked, everyone who dared to dream beyond societal barriers. With their strategy solidified, the team finally dispersed, buzzing with fresh ideas and strategies that hung thick in the air. But Noah couldn't shake the troubling taunts that had invaded their closed doors. Soon. They were still there, taunting like specters, lingering just outside the light of his new dawn. That night, sleep evaded him. Lying in bed, he wrestled with doubt, the shadows whispering old fears. He replayed every interaction with the executives, the scornful laughter still piercing through him like daggers. But suddenly, clarity rushed in. This wasn't just about Noah anymore, it was about all he represented, the voices clamoring for equity and inclusivity, the very dreams built upon community roots. He thought of his parents, their unwavering belief in integrity, and the tireless determination they instilled in him. If he could rise above this, he would honor their values, he would honor each person who believed in change. Morning broke through the horizon, presenting him with anticipation and vulnerability. In the mirror, his reflection portrayed calm determination. As he prepared to leave, he turned to the sunlight streaming in the dawn that promised change. Today was the day that he arrived at the conference center, greeted by the hustle of the corporate world around him. With each step toward the conference room, adrenaline thrummed through him, sharp and awakening. The moment arrived, he strode to the front as the buzzing crowd hushed. Buzzing lights illuminated tense faces, and he felt the weight of their eyes. Would they understand? Could they see beyond the surface? Good morning, Noah began, his voice breaking through the silence. Today isn't just about a merger, it's about a movement, our own chance to reshape how we define success. As he spoke, he laid out his vision with passion, detailing how they could change the industry landscape. A tech hub built on inclusivity, where diverse voices would not only be heard but would thrive. He illustrated the metrics that would follow, community engagement numbers that reflected real lives transformed, not just profit, and then it happened like a spark igniting a fire. As his words poured out, something shifted in the room. There. Expressions changed, curiosity sparked in a wave that traveled through the crowd, but there it was again. The interruption, Greg's voice cracking through. Noah, do you truly believe that you can stand firm against their allegations? Would it not be simpler to play it safe? Noah stood a bit taller, no longer dimmed by doubt. Simple isn't always right, it's about forging paths others feared to tread. If we don't take the chance to stand as one, we are conceding this industry to those who profit on divide and conquer. Together, we will thrive. A powerful silence enveloped the room, then a ripple of murmurs began like faint echoes of a breaking dam. They began to rally, the powerless responding to strength. The silence gave way to an electric energy, and the applause rang out like thunder, reinforcing his belief that the tide was indeed turning. It was exhilarating the moment they began to lean into his vision. As the discussion shifted toward strategy, the realization dawned, his community, his team, they were no longer behind him, they were link and chain, pushing forward. He felt empowered to face whatever lay ahead in the shadows, but just then, feeling unfazed, a familiar voice broke through the new energy. It looks like the competitor is gearing up for a counterattack. It was another executive, their voice laced with tension. Noah took a steadying breath, eyes ablaze. Let them try, he declared. We'll be ready. And we'll do it stronger than we ever could have alone. With each member of the team rallying behind him, a shared determination welled up like a tide pushing back against the insurmountable. This was more than a business maneuver, it was a testament to the power of people standing up for what was right, together, and as he exited the room that day, a surge of hope enveloped him, pushing him forward. He had faced the fiercest storm of his life and emerged unfazed. Yes, challenges loomed, but so did triumph and renewal. He realized that the soon that haunted him had transformed into the present. The future would be built on strength born from community. They would take their journey one step at a time, but together, they would make waves, and as Noah ventured away from the echoes of yesterday's doubt, he knew what truly mattered. It was not simply his ambition but the change he could create, a legacy that would last long after the last round of applause faded, you need to subscribe now to catch the next exclusive stories that unfold this journey further. This is the moment to show your support. Hit that bell for notifications so you're always in the loop. Don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformational journey. And do leave a like now, it's what feeds the algorithm and keeps the momentum going. I want to hear from you. Comment your feelings about this ending because your voice matters. Let us ride this wave together.